Does God operate on a need-to-know basis? One of the advantages of having two sons is that when they were growing up, they were my free labor force. So with my younger son, Phil, a lot of times when we lived in New York State, I'd say to him, "Come on, Phil, let's go for a ride." "Where are we going, Dad?" I said, "Oh, let's make it a surprise." And after a few incidents like that, he discovered that I like to go to Home Depot with him and do some shopping, and that meant some work was ahead for him when he got back. When he'd ask where we're going, what are we, why are we turning here? I said, we're on a need to know basis, Phil. So he didn't get all the information until later on he figured things out. Does God operate on a need to know basis? Now, we have to put one caveat in. It's something like this. Sometimes we know actually less than we think we do. Remember when the riots were taking place back in 2020 and my students in Florida were upset for a variety of reasons over what was happening or what they thought was happening. And I asked them, so if you watch a 2-minute video, do you really know what happened in a given city? And they'd say, after they thought about it, no, not really. Then I'd say, so if you read 3 or 4 stories or blogs, do you really know what happened? And they admit no. So sometimes we actually know a lot less than we think we do. So in Luke chapter 22, verses 10 and 11, Jesus tells Peter and John to go into the city, that is through Jerusalem, and they're going to see a man carrying a water jar. Very unusual. Usually a woman would be doing that. They're to follow the man, and they're to go to a room, and they're to ask the man who owns the room, is this the place to prepare the Passover meal? A lot of questions there. Why was the man carrying a water jar and not a woman? Why are they just to follow the man and not ask his name? Why don't they ask the name of the upper room or simply ask the water jar carrying guy for the address or what street it's on, at least, because they didn't have addresses back then? The disciples were on a need to know basis, but the key is this: they knew everything they needed to know to do what Jesus wanted. That's simply it. We may be on a need to know basis, but we have everything that we know that we need to follow Jesus. God may show us more things along the way. Maybe they found out who the guy who owned the upper room was. Maybe they found out who the guy carrying the water was. Maybe they didn't. Everything from Jesus we have is what we need to know. And there's some things we don't need to know. Deuteronomy says the secret things belong to the Lord your God, but the things revealed to you and your children forever. So be content with the things we don't know and follow Jesus in the things we do know. Your daily devotional for Thursday. Hope you're doing well. Look forward to seeing you at Bible study tonight, where we'll take the great case of Job, who wanted to know some things and found out some things he was a little bit surprised with when he eventually found them out. Great, great book. And man, I can't imagine going through your life without taking some time to ponder the book of Job. So look forward to seeing you tonight. And remember, Jesus said, blessed are those who hear the word of God and keep it. God bless you as you serve him today.